Good morning students, welcome to English class. In today's class we are going to learn about a poem Unfolding Bud. Name some water plants. Yes, lotus, water lily, water hyacinth, hydrilla, etc. Have you watched a flower blooming? If yes, is it fascinating? Yes, watching a blooming flower is fascinating. Are you interested in reading poems? Yeah, some of you will be interested in reading poems, isn't it? So let us move on to today's class. So in today's class, we are going to learn about a new poem, Unfolding Bud by Naoshi Koriyama. Naoshi Koriyama is a Japanese poet. He published 9 collections in English besides 3 translated from Japan. He published his first volume entirely in Japanese. Unfolding Bud by Naoshi Koriyama. One is amazed by a water lily, unfolding with each passing day, taking on a richer color and new dimensions. One is not amazed at a first glance by a poem, which is tight closed as a tiny bud. Yet, one is surprised to see the poem gradually unfolding, revealing its rich inner self, as one reads it again and over again. So, I'm reading once again. One is amazed by a water lily unfolding with each passing day, taking on a richer color and new dimensions. One is not amazed at a first glance by a poem, which is tight closed as a tiny bud. Yet, one is surprised to see the poem gradually unfolding, revealing its rich inner self, as one reads it again and over again. So, the first stanza talks about how the water lily blooms with each passing day, taking on new colors and growing in size. So, amazed means surprised. So, people are surprised on looking at the unfolding. Unfolding means opening up of water lily every day. So, each passing day it takes a new dimension. Dimensions means size and colors. The first reading of the poem is compared to a closed bud because most poems do not reveal their full meaning until they have been read over and over again. So one is not amazed or surprised with the first reading of the poem. So here the first reading of the poem is compared with a tiny bud which is tightly closed. But when we read a poem many times, the poem's inner meaning slowly reveals itself to us. So one is surprised when we read the poem again and again. Why? Because when we read it again, we come to know about the inner meaning of the poem. So here a poem that reveals itself after many readings is compared with a bud is gradually unfolding into a flower. So the word unfolding brings out the similarity between the flower and the poem. While the flower unfolds to reveal its colors, the poem unfolds to reveal its inner meaning. A poem is compared to tiny bud as tightly closed, hiding its meaning to unfold it slowly like the blooming of the bud into a flower. So as the unfolding of the bud is visual and its beauty amazes the onlooker, one needs to take time to understand the essence of a poem. It slowly reveals its inner essence and encourages the reader to read it again and again. Every poem needs to be read multiple times before it can be fully understood and appreciated. So, word meanings amazed, surprised. unfolding, to open out, reveal, give out, glance, to look quickly at something, dimension, proportion, and size, gradually, slowly. Does a water lily open up quickly or gradually? The water lily blooms slowly or gradually over several days. What two things change each day? As the water lily opens up, the colors and the dimensions change. What is the first reading of the poem compared to? The first reading of a poem is compared to a closed bud. When are we actually surprised about the poem? We are surprised about the poem when we have read it many times, as the poem's inner meaning slowly reveals itself to us. What words describe the state of the poem when it is first seen? The words used to describe the poem are tight closed and tiny bud. State a difference between reading a poem and reading a story. So every poem needs to be read multiple times before it can be fully understood and appreciated. But a short story, in contrast, it takes just one reading for it to be understood. Learn the word meanings and poem. Thank you, students.